It's different, it's different, it's different.
Alright guys, you see this title. We're back with a new comedian. This one is Tom Segura. Funny Disabilities. Like I said, he's new, so I'm not sure. I've never seen any of his work, and I don't even think I had heard of him before this skit, so let's take a look.
And I get why you laugh at my physical flaws. Physical flaws are funny. They just are. Disabilities are not. But some are. Most aren't. We know those ones, you know? Like if there's a 10K or a quilt, it's pretty bad. But the rest are up for debate. And if you're sitting here and you're like, well, when is it ever funny? Well, luckily for you, I have 3 examples. First, foreign accent syndrome. Some of you know about it, some of you don't. It's real. You can look it up on your way out of here. Some people experience head trauma. Not funny. But they wake up speaking their native language with a foreign accent. Very funny. I defy you to watch interviews with these people and not piss yourself laughing.
Oh gosh.
Do you understand? Like a farmer in Alabama who's normally like, that guy hits his head and is now like, the tractor trailer, it fell. A la mer. That's not funny to you, you piece of shit? Really? The best case ever of foreign accent syndrome happened in the UK. Well, not only was it a British woman who lived her entire life in the UK, she'd never left the town she was born in for 33 years.
Wow.
She was in an accident, and she woke up speaking English, but with a Chinese foreign accent.
What?
Did you hear what I just fucking said?
Oh my goodness.
Do you now believe in God and his awesome sense of humor?
Yes.
A British lady who her whole life was like, hello, it's a bit of a whiffle, isn't it? Like that.
Yes, yes.
Now says, I have not had my conversation about 3 years.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
First of all, do you know how hard it is to do that impression without squinting? Secondly,
Right. Yeah, I'm sure.
if you're getting uncomfortable, like, whoa, he's mocking an Asian accent? No, she's white. This is fine. A white British lady just happens to say, would you like a cup of tea? Tastes good? You want
Imagine. No, and you know, I'm partially hoping that he's not serious.
Oh gosh.
But I think he's serious. Like, this really is a syndrome. Like, of some sort, isn't it? I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it.
But
anything is possible.
I think he's serious. This is interesting so far. He definitely taught me my something new for the day. He's different from Bill Burr and Dave Chappelle and even Louis C.K. Like, I'm not even sure how he's similar. I think he just kind of has his own vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very chill, much like Dave Chappelle. Or at least the skits we've reacted to so far from him. But it's a different type of chill. You know, it's kind of like just general conversation, which I feel like Bill Burr tends to do a lot too.
Right.
He just talks generally, but he's not as chill. He's a little bit more upbeat.
Yeah.
So this is cool to, you know, take a look at a new comedian.
You want biscuit? Oh, good. You want me to suck the dick now? I don't know. Whatever. She's a nice British lady. She can say whatever she wants.
Ooh.
Now, if you're sitting in your seat right now and you're like, I don't think it's funny. Well, don't get your tits in a tussle. I got 2 more for you. So.
Oh, the little things he just toss in there, the little itty bitty, you know, the little sugar on top that he just tosses in there on the down low is like.
Right. But he's a little quirky with it too.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
In addition to that, he's also very interactive with the audience. From the comedy videos I've seen so far, they usually only interact with the audience if someone's being a heckler, or if they're disagreeing with the comedian, or if they just happen to stand out in some way. But for Tom, you don't have to do or be any of that. He will just randomly involve you, and all you did was sit there, which not only adds to the humor, but it's more interactive, which for me personally, it helps to keep me engaged. So I like how it's another element of surprise and humor aside from the story that he's telling.
What about persistent genital arousal disorder?
Huh?
Never.
That is
Me
a
either.
fancy way of saying never not coming.
Okay.
These are people that have orgasms
double
every
negatives.
90 seconds, and they can't have jobs. Why can't they have jobs, Tom?
Right.
Because they're coming all the time. It's not appropriate
Nope.
for you to be like, can I try on this shirt? And the guy's like, ugh. Fuck your shirt. I'm gonna wear my own shit. I'm not wearing your fucking shirt. Can you imagine? You're like, oh, we're out of orange juice? Or, just bring water. That's too much sugar. I don't want any more of that. Some people suffer from both of those afflictions. You know that? It's rare when it happens. Can you imagine that? That like you just walk up to someone, you're like, oh, I'm sorry to hear about your dad passing away. And he's like, that feels good. I made that one up. That's not true. But
Okay, cool.
that was cheap, but that was fun. Now,
I'm glad it's not real.
Right.
still not on board with this. How about an old, reliable one? You know, how about Tourette syndrome? Yeah. Maybe you've heard of that.
Yeah, that
If
one
you
is
haven't,
real.
let me
I've
tell
heard
you.
of that one.
I've heard
seen
of
it too.
Tourette syndrome.
Yeah.
But I know he's about to tell me what this is anyway. He's about to remind me. But what is that again?
Uncontrollable movements.
Oh, okay.
When I was in 5th grade, my parents sent me to a new school on a Wednesday. I'll never forget. It was a Catholic school, and on Wednesdays, they had Mass. So picture you're a new student at a new school, you don't know anybody, and the first thing you're doing is you're going to church. So I walk in, and the priest starts the service. He goes, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the kid in the row in front of me goes, fuck your cunt. And I'm like, Nobody did anything. No one batted an eye. He just goes, Holy Spirit, starts reading from the Bible. This kid goes, lick my balls. Fuck you. I am laughing so goddamn hard.
Yeah.
But I know I'm not supposed to laugh. It sounds like I'm having a stroke. I'm 10. I'm like,
Oh, you know what this reminds me of?
What?
We used to watch a show called Barter Kings.
Yes.
And one of the guys had
Yeah.
Tourette's.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
where I got it from because
Yeah.
I knew that it sounded familiar, but I could not remember at all. Yeah, and his version of it was instead of just speaking random things, unless they edited that out of the show, he would make random sound effects.
Right.
You know, just
yeah.
at random.
Yeah.
And it was uncontrollable.
Right.
Okay.
I have tears running down my face. And finally I'm able to get out, how come nobody else is laughing? And the kid next to me goes, he's got Tourette's. It gets old.
Oh.
3 years I was at that school. That shit never got old. That was the greatest gift God ever bestowed upon me. And I'll tell you this, the greatest day of my life, up until the day my son was born, was the day we had a substitute teacher that year, and they didn't warn her about him.
No.
Your imagination is serving you correctly.
Yes, I bet.
It was glorious. I watched a 10-year-old boy break a grown woman's spirit. These poor substitutes, they don't know what's going on in your class. You know, she walked in. Somehow, they didn't tell her, and she's like, read chapter 3. And then his tics would build, meaning they would start small. So he would sit in class and be like, hey.
Yeah.
So she goes, what's going on? And we're like, she doesn't know.
Yep.
And then he would do this every day. He would take markers and paint his own shirt. Again, every day he did it, but she doesn't know about it. So she sees it. She's like, what are you doing? He goes, what do you think, bitch? Then he starts painting his face with the marker. And she goes, stop that. And he goes, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. Fuck you. And she's like, what's happening? What's happening? And we go, that's Kevin. Why are you crying so much right now? Like that. When she killed herself, she's dead. So.
Oh, no.
I hope you're joking.
Right.
She's out of teaching, but she's fine. So.
Okay.
After that, I would be out of teaching too.
Right.
Because how do you just conveniently not tell someone something so important? If there's one thing for sure, he is similar to the other comedians that we've reacted to in the fact that he does know how to take things and flip them around. Funny Disabilities, I'm like, huh? And then as you get into it, he did kind of flip it around and it's like, oh. You know, after watching this video again while editing, I actually want to scratch what I just said and instead say that he knew how to take this idea, run with it, and get you to believe him. You know, like this wasn't some unique concept that he thought he could run with and use only for it to fall flat, because I've seen a couple comedy skits here and there, not by this comedian but others, that were just okay as a whole, you know, but this one really wasn't like that. It was just a chill, fun video to watch, and he actually convinced me that, you know, sometimes you're not trying to laugh at somebody's disability, but sometimes, you know, there are life situations that are just kind of funny. You know, he's not trying to be mean or anything, but some things are just naturally funny without you even trying to laugh at them. And he convinced me of that. Before this video, I never really would have thought about disabilities being funny, but now I'm convinced. And he was even clever enough to weave in something that didn't even exist.
Right.
But he's a good actor because he had me believing it until he said, it's not real, I made that up.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Definitely let me know if you would like any more Tom Segura's material. I'd love to take a look at it and get more acquainted with him because we could always use more content. I'm trying not to give y'all the same thing over and over again, you know? Also, don't forget to like and subscribe while you're down there, and we will see y'all in our next one. Bye, guys.